Good morning, this is JC, and I'm bringing you another raw story by Eric de la Garza. This is the story about RFK and how he thinks the measles outbreak is due to diet and exercise. I thought this guy was an MD. Maybe I'm wrong. If he's an MD, he needs to go back to school because I taught when I was a graduate student, I taught pre-medical students at St. Louis University, and I taught anatomy. And if this guy doesn't, and I also taught genetics to the students, and if this guy doesn't understand how disease works based on your anatomy and on your genetic makeup, and how viruses are built based on messenger, based on DNA, RNA, and messenger RNA, how viruses work. This guy doesn't understand a thing because a virus is not alive. It enters a cell and uses the cell's metabolic capability to reproduce. And once it's in the cell, it releases all kinds of toxins that as it reproduces, that cause the diseases from that particular virus. So this guy is just a fool and an idiot if he is an MD. Anyway, I want you to listen to this. This is just eugenicist. Boy, today I'm having a rough day. Eugenicism. RFK skewered as he blames diet and exercise for measles deaths. Unfucking believable. And look at him. You think this guy's a Kennedy? Well, he's one ugly motherfucker to be from the Kennedy lineage.
This is just eugenicism. RFK skewered as he blames diet and exercise for measles deaths. Social media lit up with fury Monday night in response to Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. suggesting that diet may be to blame for a Texas child's death of measles. It's very, very difficult for measles to kill a healthy person, Kennedy said, according to the New York Times. He later added that we see a correlation between people who get hurt by measles and people who don't have good nutrition or who don't have a good exercise regimen. The prominent longtime conspiracy theorist then said of the specific child from western Texas who recently died of measles that malnutrition may have been an issue. Social media critics had plenty of their own theories about the outbreak, and RFK himself. Also read, absolutely unconscionable, ex-Republican demands Trump removed from office after fight. RFK blames measles outbreak, easily prevented by the vaccines he disdains, on lack of good diet and exercise. Conservative commentator Amanda Carpenter, a former aide to two GOP senators, posted on Blue Sky. Just noting this after RFK Jr. said the child who died of measles should have eaten better and exercised, HuffPost senior reporter Paul Blumenthal wrote on Blue Sky. To be crystal clear, 1. Measles is a nasty disease, an epidemiologist who goes by the Blue Sky hand at Health Nerd wrote. 2. You cannot treat measles with antibiotics or cod liver oil. 3. The measles vaccine is very safe and highly effective, as shown by the elimination of the disease in the U.S. for 25 years. 4. RFK Jr. is an ignorant fool. New York Times columnist Jamel Bouie told his Blue Sky followers what it boils down to is just eugenicism. Journalist Jacqueline Sweet appeared baffled by the situation. Does RFK not realize if measles is gonna kill anyone it's more likely to be a baby? She asked on Blue Sky. Does he think babies should be getting swole to fight off measles? Did he forget babies exist? Edek, which option is worse here? The thing about food deserts in West Texas that RFK Jr. could have mentioned here is that the measles vaccine is proven safe and effective. It literally protects you for life. Drew Harwell, a Washington Post tech reporter, posted on Blue Sky.
Well, it wasn't diet and exercise that killed all the kids who had measles back in the 50s when I was growing up. In fact, as a matter of fact, there were two types of measles. One was considered not too dangerous, and then I think it was called the red measles. And then there was one that was generically called the German measles. I had them both. And I'm here to tell you that I was one sick puppy when I had the German measles. I remember I had it on the 4th of July one year in the 50s, and I was put in a bedroom. The curtains were drawn, and for some reason I couldn't go out in the sunlight. I couldn't have any light coming in from the windows or anything. I had to stay in that room for a week. And I'm just fortunate that I survived because it was such a bad disease. And they did not have vaccines in those days for the measles. It's absolutely ridiculous that if we have a vaccine that you don't take it. Vaccines are safe 99.9% of the time. And there's no reason for people not to be having their children vaccinated for measles, mumps. When we were in school and during the 50s when the polio outbreak was, we had to go to the gym and we were forced to take the polio vaccine. And we had no choice. The health department came in and said, "You're going to take this vaccine." And they wouldn't let us out of the gym till they gave us the measles. I keep saying measles, the polio vaccine. And that's the way they eradicated polio, was by forcing everyone to take the vaccine. And if we had that kind of administration in place today, where the health departments in the counties all across the states, United States, had the power to force vaccination to get rid of the disease, we would not be having this problem. And I'm all for the government forcing every man, woman, and child in this country to be vaccinated for these dangerous diseases. And call me whatever you want, because I believe that, because I lived through it in the 50s, and forcing us to take the vaccines and having our parents take the responsibility of giving us to the doctors to get the vaccines saved many lives, and the reason that we grew up and were healthy as children, because the vaccines saved us. And it's just absolutely ludicrous that this RFK Jr. is such a moron and an idiot that he thinks vaccines hurt people. I don't know. I mean, this man, he just, if he's knowledgeable at all in any of this, he's absolutely showing that he didn't retain it if he was ever trained or educated in medical sciences, in genetics, in viruses and whatnot, because he obviously doesn't know or understand a thing about it. This is JC, St. Louis's oldest living hippie, saying, "Pox some more, Jack, and keep on trucking."